3 days later, the sun burned at its height when Çekim found Koktenegar, a mountain that should not exist. No, half a mountain. Something had split it as a sword splits bone. Two sheer faces stared across a gap so narrow a man might ride through with his knees brushing stone. Too straight, too sure. No work of earth or God. At noon, the sunlight struck the cleft and changed hue. Not sky blue, but a deeper, colder fire, like the light of drowned worlds. It poured through the slit and filled the pass with ghostly azure. Beautiful, unnatural, wrong. 50 paces in, the passage widened. Here the air hung still. The place waited. He tethered Sarnai and drew the leather case from his saddle. The clay tablets lay within, ancient, brittle, carved with 2 signs. Alif, the straight line, breath of the divine. Nun, the curve, the pen that inscribes the decree of all that lives and ends. Çekim knelt beside the wall and found the hollow shaped like a human palm. He pressed his hand into it, tracing the marks. Unity through decree. Nothing. 10 heartbeats. 20. 50. Only silence, vast and pitiless. He sat back on his heels, eyes fixed on blank stone. A sigh escaped him, something twisted behind his ribs, something that felt too much like loss, disappointment. He tasted the word like iron. Gods, he had wanted it to be real. The thought struck him as treachery, and he crushed it down. Grief was indulgence. He would have none of it. Then, the stone moved. It shifted, as if sinew lay beneath its face, as if the mountain itself drew breath. The wall began to weep blackness. Not shadow, substance. Dark tendrils oozed from the rock, slick and trembling. The sound of wet leather stretched past endurance. They groped for one another like the hands of the dying, found purchase, and began to weave. Over and under, a rhythm beyond mortal craft. Arches rose, black ribs curving inward, shaping a throat where none had been. Between them, the tendrils thinned, fusing into a membrane that shone like oil in moonlight. It pulsed once, twice, then drew a breath that was not air. A black lung, hanging in blue light. Silence fell, heavy, absolute. The membrane pulsed. Shapes stirred within. His camp, the Ka-Bojigan encampment, tilted, blurred. Figures, men he knew, and in their center, his grandmother, rope around her neck, hands bound. Sound bled through, distant and warped. Where did he go? Tell us. Kenbish said nothing. Hang her. They led her to a cart, fashioned the noose. Then she found him. Through the membrane, across worlds, her eyes locked on his. Çekim. Don't look back. The noose slipped over her throat. Keep the oath. My life was worth living to have you do what you were meant to. I love you, boy. Grief is indulgence. Do the work. The cart shifted. The rope snapped tight. Stepped through. Now, his hand touched the membrane. The cart dropped. Her body jerked, danced, stilled. Çekim, man of logic, warrior of reason, boy who swore never to be helpless again, watched the only constant in his world die by rope, watched the lesson she left behind. You strike the bell rings, the world pushes back. He stepped forward, not for revenge. Revenge was heat. This was colder, older. Correction. The membrane accepted him. The vision shattered. Pressure and vertigo crushed everything into a single point. He held his breath, held his purpose, held her eyes in memory like a blade, and stepped through into silence, into darkness, into the space between one world and the next. She'd bought him this path, and he would not waste her coin. Çekim woke to the smell of home, smoke from a dung fire, mutton fat, felt that had absorbed 13 years of living. His gear. He opened his eyes. Everything exactly where it should be. His college, his bow, Kenbish's knife. Everything exactly as he'd left it 3 days ago. Before the gate. Before her body swung. He sat up. His deal lay folded, clean, unmarked. His hand showed no calluses from the reins, no dirt. Wrong. He dressed slowly, pushed through the flap. The camp spread before him. Gears and neat rings, smoke rising, but no people, no sound, only wind and silence. He walked past empty gears, past Buck's forge, tools polished, gleaming, everything perfect, everything wrong. He turned and saw her, Kenbish, kneeling in her herb garden, alive. He approached slowly. 3 paces away, he stopped. She looked up, smiled. "Çekim, you kept your promise." His throat closed. She stood. "Are you not happy to see me?" "Happiness is a form of grief," he said quietly. "And grief is indulgence. You taught me that." Something flickered in her eyes. Interest. Most who come through the gate search for something. Her voice shifted beneath. Only a few ever know what they are. So what happens now? She smiled. "I could show you the massacre, your tribe. I could let you change it, save them all." She stepped closer. "You could go back, live the life you were meant to live. Just rest, just peace." He looked at this thing wearing the skin of love. "I'm not a child," he said. "I'm not here to take back what's already burned." His voice cut clean. "She didn't die for ghosts. She died so I could walk forward." Silence stretched. Then it laughed. Low. Genuine. In all the epics, in all the souls who've touched the gate, I've never met a mortal quite like you. It circled him. Most come wanting power, vengeance, salvation. They burn themselves up before the work begins. It stopped. But you came, owing. You don't know what you want, only what you owe. Do you trust me? Çekim of the car again. Do you want to know who I am? He didn't flinch. You would tell me who you are if you wanted to. The greeter paused, laughed quietly. Most beg, most demand. They need answers before they can take a step. It leaned closer. The grandmother's face was gone. Only something vast remained. But you understand. Knowing changes nothing. The work remains. The oath stands. So I ask again, do you trust me? Çekim didn't hesitate. I trust the one who saved me. The thing wearing his grandmother's face smiled. Tender, knowing. Then Çekim's jaw tightened. But you are not her. The smile held. You wear her face like a mask. You speak with her voice. You stand in her garden. His hand drifted to his killage. A being such as you, something vast enough to open gates between worlds, should not mock the dead by wearing their skin. He took one step forward, voice like iron on stone. She hung from a rope so I could stand here, and you dishonor that by pretending to be her. Silence. Then laughter. Not cruel, not mocking. Sad. Dishonor. The voice shifted, layered, dozens of throats speaking as one. O child of the Kai Ergen, I do not mock her. The grandmother's form began to dissolve, not vanishing, unfolding. Like a flower opening to reveal something vast within. She was one who walked these gates long before you ever did. The words hit like a hammer to the chest. The garden collapsed. The gers, the sky. What remained was light and geometry. A presence too large for the space it occupied. Radiant, incomprehensible. A structure of thought made visible. Angles that shouldn't exist. Colors that had no name. A shape that was simultaneously singular and infinite. Çekim fell to his knees, not from fear, from weight. Kenbish, his voice cracked. She was a traveler. The entity's voice came from everywhere and nowhere. A vessel of the gate's will. She walked worlds you will never see. Corrected patterns you will never know were broken. The light pulsed. She grew old protecting you. Guiding you, preparing you. Another pulse. Her sacrifice was not coincidence. It was recursion. The weight pressed down. The will of the gate nested in your bloodline generations before your birth. She knew. She always knew. Çekim's mind reeled. His grandmother, The woman who'd hidden him in a cave, who'd taught him grief is indulgence, who'd sent him here, had walked these same paths, had stood where he stood, had served this same. Is this the divine? The thought formed before he could stop it. I am not what you are thinking. The entity's voice cut through his mind like a blade through silk. Do not let yourself wander in thoughts of what is, which is not. For what it is, silence. Then, I am the balance permitted to exist. The words felt like a void collapsing inside a starving gut. Questions formed. Permitted by what? By whom? For what purpose? But even as they bloomed, Çekim felt them dissolve. The entity sensed it, the warrior's focus returning. The learned boy of philosophies and cultures, centering himself not on questions, but on memory. Her face, her voice, her words. Step through. Now. My life was worth living to have you do what you were meant to. Grief is indulgence. He wrapped himself in the trust of those words, in the woman who had walked these gates before him, who had faced this same weight, who had submitted and survived. Çekim lifted his head, met the entity's endless gaze. I submit to you, in the trust of the one who walked these gates before me. His voice steadied. Guide me as you guided her. The entity paused. Then, something like satisfaction rippled through the light. Good. The weight lifted slightly, not gone, acknowledged. You do not demand answers. You do not require proof. You do not bargain for certainty. The throne appeared, not made, but willed, massive, ancient. You offer trust earned through lineage, through blood, through the woman who served faithfully and died so you could stand here. It leaned forward. That is wisdom, Çekim of the Kai again. Rare among mortals, rarer still among those who think as much as you do. The entity shifted. A doorway began to form behind it. I exist in worlds here and not of here. I take forms that serve the moment. Through one door, a weapon, Eshnia Babarad, fire and ice in perfect equation. Only the will untouched by ego may wield me without burning. Through another door, a conduit, the reservoir of knowledge, past and future. The vengeful receive silence, the disciplined receive understanding. But here, at this threshold, I choose nothing. I sharpen the greatest force a soul carries, will. Goodwill sharpened becomes correction. Corrupt will sharpened becomes destruction. I am the balance permitted to exist. I do not save. I do not condemn. I reveal. The entity settles, vast and waiting. Çekim steps into the silence. He understands now. The entity is not a being. It is a function, weapon, knowledge, gateway. What are you, Çekim of the Ergen? He meets that infinite geometry of a gaze. A man who owes a debt I can never repay. His hand touches the collige at his hip. If her life bought this road, then I will walk it. The geometry ripples. Reality tears. Not violently, but with purpose. The doorway appears. Ruins, smoke, a city not yet burning, but promised to. Before you walk, understand the terms. White light carves the rules into the void. First, beyond the gate, time cannot claim you. Age suspends. Death defers. Second, if you fall, you return here, whole, restored, pain remembered, mistake recorded. Third, your will remains yours. You can return home at any moment. A pulse of light, a warning, but time unfolds differently across worlds. One day here equals one day in your world. 1 year beyond equals only one day here. Walk a decade, your world loses a week. Walk a century, it loses a season. Choose with care. Silence distills into judgment. Do you accept, Çekim of the Ergen, son of the woman who walked before you? He does not hesitate. Yes, The doorway widens. Ruins become clear. Smoke, char, aftermath. Your first subject. His timeline is fracturing. Çekim steps closer. Who is he? Conan of Cimmeria, last son of a conquered people, first wielder of Eshnia Babarad in 3,000 years. Keep him alive, traveler, however many attempts it requires. Çekim walks through the gate and into a throne room, bathed in white marble and ancient arrogance. The king of Acheron regards the stranger who walked past 16 guards without drawing steel. Speak. Who are you? My name is Çekim. I walk the paths between what is and what might be. Then the hammer. This is the 5th time I have stood before you. Each attempt punches the air like a wound. First time, silence. You died. Your daughter burned with the city. Second time, you fled. The entity slaughtered 30,000 elsewhere. Third time, you fortified the walls. The entity broke them. You died. Fourth time, your daughter was saved, but the warrior lost the will to fight. He died. The dark spread. This time, it ends differently. The king trembles. Çekim asks for the scrolls. He receives them. The twin-fang bracelet, serpent eyes glowing like embers, passes into his hand. Give this to my daughter when the time comes. I will. Çekim turns toward fate. 4 days until he reaches the Cimmerian. 9 days until Acheron burns. One chance to get it right. He walks. Behind him, the throne room falls into silence.